Hi everybody, welcome. I do believe that I'm live before I see that I am live. So I'm hoping that you are able to see me. And I want to welcome you to this live stream. First of all, thank you very much, Lucy, for being here, pulling together our beautiful family, our lovely online collective. I'm so fortunate. I'm live streaming this time, as you can probably see, with the watermark through Zoom. It's a new platform that I'm using, and I'd like to know what your feedback is of this. Is the sound better? Is the quality better? Just give me some feedback as we go along. I'm constantly trying to improve what we're doing here, and now with Lucy's help, I think it will hopefully happen a lot faster. You can probably see with the watermark through Zoom. I've got to turn off my, now I'm hearing myself. And I'd like to know what your feedback is. Right, it's very horrible to hear yourself back. Okay, there we go. So, first I just want to say, welcome. Thank you for being here. And I also want to say that I did not want to create fear through my title. I've even had somebody in the chat now just say that she's unsubscribing because the title was somehow foreboding. I hope you're still here. I hope you didn't unsubscribe at this point, because I'm wanting to make a point about the fact that there is nowhere to run. Yeah, that there is nowhere upon our planet soon enough that will not have this virus or something else, or another virus, or an explosion, or a riot, or something. It's as if everything is coming at once and we can't avoid it. Yeah, and the instinct is, in terms of a survival instinct, is like where to run to. Yeah, where can I run to? Where can I get away from all of this? Can I look and see if there's another country or another state that I could go to that might be more peaceful, that might not have this to the extent that it is happening where I am. So there is this sense of like, maybe you've not been experiencing it. Yeah, maybe it's just me. Yeah, maybe it's just me. But share with me. Yeah, fear is a killer. Yet fear is an absolute killer. Yes, it is. And thank you, Smoky Quartz. You really can't say very much about anything today without upsetting somebody. So I apologize if I upset anybody, but sometimes there is a wake-up call that can be of tremendous benefit if it does create a lot of emotion, if it does create a lot of things going on. So my point is this. I had a strong feeling, for example, that Greece was going to spike in coronavirus cases. I mean, it was fairly obvious once they opened the borders and once they let people in. They did very well once we were in this lockdown. And now, of course, it is spiking. And even in New Zealand. Yes, I was hankering to New Zealand because I am a New Zealand citizen. And I have, yes, so I was looking at New Zealand and thinking, aren't they the most wonderful, country? They've done so well. And I was even commenting on that, and I got in a little trouble with some of the viewers about that too. But now they've got another case or two, and they've locked down Auckland. Yeah, it's like, right, this is dead serious. We're going to have to come down heavy on it. So whether there are states that are coming down heavy on it, whether they're not closing down at all, like Sweden and Japan and different places. We're all affected by it. And this is what I meant by nowhere to run. Yeah, we are trapped in a way, yeah? Quarantine is usually where somebody has got symptoms. They're sick and they've got all kinds of boils or whatever's going on with them, and you want to put them in quarantine so they don't affect anybody else. But this is a bit different, putting people in quarantine who don't have anything, apparently. So I realize I'm touching things, but Mars is square. Mars in rulership, square to Saturn, square to Jupiter, square to Pluto. So there is going to be this energy of like Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter together is this whole thing about the fear of the state, the fear of losing our power, fear of losing our freedoms. And Mars in Aries, like, what are we going to do about this? What are we going to do? Yeah. Mars in Aries wants to do something, but we have to think carefully what we're going to do. So there's these eruptions happening. Yeah, of course we're tired of all this entrapment. Absolutely. But what's it there for? And there's something about when you don't have a choice, when you are in lockdown, or when you are limited, then you really have to look at where you are and what can I do where I am. When there's lots of different choices, that can paralyze you too. Having lots of freedom, you know, which country should I go to? Where should I live? Yeah. So these are things coming up. And certainly Pluto, Saturn. I mean, this is what the year started with. The year started with the tone. Yeah, with the tone of Pluto and Saturn, January the 12th. We're still under this influence, Pluto, Saturn, the state, control of the state, control of governments, control of banks, the Federal Reserve, the people that we have relied on to manage our world. And the infrastructure is dropping away. A new infrastructure is being put in. And what is being put in under our watch? Where must we speak out? So sometimes having fewer choices is an awakening to like, oh, right, shit. There's nowhere to run to. So that's maybe a good thing. How can I make the best of where I am? How can I make the best of what is happening around me? What can I do that's problem solving? Yeah, how can I work at this? And yeah, there's going to, you know, somebody going in a store today and a lady being chased out because she's by people with a broom because she was coughing. People are being almost strangled if they're not wearing face masks in Australia. There's all kinds of frightening, terrifying footage out there. And it's extreme. And it's all hitting at once. It's all this cardinal energy. And the liberation is going to come from inside as well as externally. So I think there are going to be more storms, yeah, physical storms. We've certainly had our share of them here in Greece recently with internet chopping out, and I was very frightened in the night. Half of my pictures fell. Yeah, it was like I could hear them crashing around in the storm. It was like I was too frightened to get out of bed, to be honest. So I didn't. I dealt with the debris in the morning. So, yes, there's a dare I say it, there is a contagious virus around. There are always contagious viruses around. Yes? But there's now something that's contagious that's going around that is showing us from a higher level that nature is in charge. We like to think we're in charge. We like to think that we're the ones that are pulling strings. But there's something wider and bigger at stake here. Simply because it's global and simply because it's hitting everybody. It's hitting all of us. Big and small, old and young, black and white and green and orange, left and right, doesn't matter. And yes, we were born for these times. We've come away, we've come for this time. Now, whether COVID comes or goes, these are times of extreme uncertainty. And we can have a contagion of fear because emotions are contagious, super contagious. And I apologize if through the title I created more fear, not my intention. But also living in the trying to pretend that none of this is happening is also not going to work either. So we are going to see, according to the astrology, we're going to see more collapsing. And I think we need to hold to account our leaders, the people who we are electing, need to be held to account. So, how are we going to deal with this Mars energy? This Mars energy is with us for many months. And when a planet is in rulership, and right now we've got 4 planets in rulership as I speak. We've got the Sun in Leo, right? So things are burning. Yeah, there's a heat going on, there's explosions. I just want to say that my heart goes out to the people that are being affected by these explosions, to the people in Beirut, to the people in Lebanon, to the people in Belarus, to the things that are happening. I think we feel this. I feel this pain and the suffering that different ones are going through. And there's much happening. And I think that Neptune in Pisces is saying that we have to find a way to find our faith, to find our trust again. And sometimes it's when you're at your lowest ebb. It's when things are falling around you, crashing around you, that something amazing can come in. When everything fell apart in my life almost 5 years ago, and I just thought it was just the end. And I think that this is this is the feelings that many people are going through in different levels. The economy going, the political situation, and it's like survival instincts are up. Yes, survival. Are we going to survive this? But I can tell you that through my very worst time, and I was on my knees praying and really deeply in that place of not knowing where to go. Through the prayers, eventually came some light, and the channeling came through. And it was terrifying. I was terrified when this whole channeling started. So I do believe and I hold the faith that something good is going to come, something better is coming from all of this. It better bloody had do. Something better. I'm sorry, guys. I just need a teddy for the moment. So, where do we go? I'm sorry for these long gaps. I usually have a lot to say. And I do. I just want to feel the sensitivity, because my heart's feeling very vulnerable today with many of you. There's such a vulnerability. Vulnerability isn't the same as being a victim, but it's acknowledging that you feel vulnerable. It's acknowledging that you feel sensitive. It's acknowledging that everything is in a state of extreme change. But we can't push it aside. Yeah, we can't, there's no more. We used to be able to push things aside and say, oh, that's happening over there. Yeah, oh, that's happening over there. In that country, they've got a war, or in that country, that's going on. This is all of us. And because it's happening to all of us, this means that we've got to unite. We must come together. We have to find ways to come together. And yes, I will bring in the peace. Just let me gather my thoughts here. So it's a balance between making sure that you are strong and resilient. This Mars in Aries is about finding resilience, finding something inside you didn't know you had. Not allowing yourself to get frightened, saying, you know, I mean, some things are frightening, yeah? It's almost like fear has become a no-no word. Yeah, you're not allowed to feel frightened. Yeah, don't do that. Well, I'll be honest with you, sometimes I do feel bloody frightened. Imagine there's no countries, yeah. So I think it's about acknowledging all this sea of turmoil, of emotion that I think's there. I mean, I wish I was maybe more evolved and I didn't experience some of these emotions. Yeah, I think if you get a little more evolved and you can, a little more enlightened, I think that you don't experience them. But I'm in the soup. So first you need to get as strong as you can in yourself. This is Mars in Aries until January. And when Mars goes retrograde from September 9th to November 13th, it's time to really refine that power. Yeah, refine the things. Refine your courage, your strength, your bravery, and encourage others to find that bravery, but not at the expense of saying that there's no grief, because there is grief. There is sadness. And it comes in waves. Thank you, Meg. And it's having it, you know, it's somehow, it's like, okay, I'm going to have it. I don't like feeling this pain. I don't like feeling these emotions. We might not like it. But at the same time, okay, I'll have them, but I'm still going to learn how to be more resilient. I'm still going to learn how to rebound best I can. I won't allow it to get the better of me. So it's almost like you're having to feel all of these different frequencies, different vibrations, different frequencies. And they're all there. They are shooting across our planet. They are swimming. We've got the frequency of love. Many of us love warriors and light warriors, ascending prayers, ascending love. I was listening today to some Caroline Mice, her latest video. She was, in Chicago and talking about this looting, terrible looting going on in Chicago. And there was somebody who had been looted, his jewelry shop, and his former customers were coming to help him. They were running to him to help him. So let's rush to one another to help one another. And if you don't know how to help somebody, maybe you know somebody who does know somebody who can help that person. That's often what I'm doing. I'm sort of saying, well, I don't know how to help, but try this person or try that. See if we can network one another. So we live in the world of duality. We're going to have both, the light, the dark. Both is there. And we can't run away. Thank you. Thank you, S. Murdoch. Thank you. But I have to confess, I've been trying to run away. Thank you, B. Pamela. Thank you. I have. My brain's been going, where can I run to? Where can I rush to? What can I do? And yes, it may be sensible to move out of a big city if you can. It may be sensible. Each one of us needs to find that direction. But if you find yourself stuck and you can't move for whatever reason, then you are supposed to be where you're supposed to be and make peace with that. All the places that I would usually travel to, I can't go to anymore. Their borders are closed, right? So that's a clear message. It's something that I just have to accept. And now that I begin to accept it, it makes me more present where I am. So do what you can if you feel you need to move, and you can move, and there are borders that are open for you to do it, great. But if not, then settle into where you are now, and this is what I'm doing, and see how you can make yourself strong where you are. It's a bit like, thank you, Seth, very much. Thank you, just thank you. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Drew, for being here with me. Thank you for my beautiful family that are with me today, that we're all together. And it's important, it's like the oxygen mask on the plane when they say, put your mask on first, because you're not much use if you're unconscious. So there is this importance with this Mars in Aries to do whatever you can to build your strength, to build your immune system, to build what you've got. And I want to clarify something. When I'm saying stock up on food and stock up on essentials and supplies, this is actually a very responsible thing to do when there is not a crisis where you are. So I'm suggesting to do it. We are not in lockdown at the moment, and there is enough around. So gradually, I've just been suggesting people where you can to stock up on things so that you won't be in a panic. We're trying to avoid or reduce the level of panic. But once the crisis is already there and you're in lockdown, then hoarding is very irresponsible. And I was not advocating that. I also need to give you another disclaimer, please, because I was told that I should not be giving out financial advice. And I don't feel as though I am. I feel as though I'm just making suggestions, but, am I qualified to give financial advice? Well, I did qualify as a financial advisor. I have various business qualifications. and I've been watching this for many years. So I'm still suggesting to you that you consider, because what looks like is coming down the line is sheer robbery. It's daylight robbery. It's robbery that's been happening, that people who have been saving all their lives, either for pensions, or you've got savings, you've worked really hard and you've got some savings in the bank. The Federal Reserve, by printing more and more money, is stealing your money, is stealing your wealth, bit by bit by bit. And transferred that money to themselves and to a few wealthy individuals. I mean, that is what's happening. So I'm sorry if that's offensive. I don't mean to be offensive, but they are looting our savings. The Fed are looting our savings. And the European Bank and the European Central Bank and the different banks, not just the Fed, but the Fed, worse than all, because it's the United States, it's the reserve currency, it's the dollar. So I can only see at the moment that gold and silver would be a way to offset the looting and the stealing that is going on of your precious savings that you've worked so hard to attain. And that's where I was coming from. But you must make up your mind individually. I am not here saying this is prescriptive. So first, do what you need to do and work on the things that you need to do. I'm reminded of this quote by Arthur Schopenhauer. All truth passes through 3 stages. First, it is ridiculed. Second, it is violently opposed. And third, it's accepted as being self-evident. So let's begin to look at the things that are being violently opposed right now. Are they true? The nodes are squaring up to Neptune. Yes, the nodes of the moon. The nodes of the moon are about our destiny as humanity. And the square to Neptune is what's real, what's true, what's not true, what's the truth. Some things are really blatant. Some things are pretty damned obvious. So because we're all affected and because nobody is exempt here, it is, to me, a situation, thank you, Carol, where it is nature pushing us, to me, to unite and come together. We're being pushed, whether we like it or not. Lucy, you're doing a great job here. Thank you. It's not easy. There's many comments coming through. I know you're catching some of the trolls. Thank you for catching them. It's okay. Thank you, Drew. You're doing a terrific job. They're still there. I know you're getting them. It's all right. So you do what you can and you use this Mars energy to do the things that you can do. And because it's square to this Saturn energy, you do things in a one-by-one way. You don't get sort of scattered. You say, now, right, what's my next most important thing to do? Is it to get some vitamin C down me to make sure that my immune system is as boosted as it can be? what are the things that I need to do? All right, you might want to make a list. What are the things that will be important to do? What are the things that I want to do? Do I need to start thinking about an alternative source of income? And if so, what would I like to do? So this Mars in energy is saying, right. And also, where are you being a little bit, shall we say, what's the word? Maybe you're not, but I know I get into this sometimes. Wimpy. You know, it's like I get into a little bit of a wimpy place, like, oh, you know, oh, this is all too hard. You know, this is all happening at once. How can we handle it all? It's too much. I want you to get that Mars in Aries out and say, no way. I've had my moment and now I'm back up again. I'm back up again. I'm not going down. I will not be a victim to these circumstances. As long as you keep bringing yourself up, bring yourself back up again. I keep doing that. I'll be honest with you. I do have many moments. It's like, oh God. So, and then I just think of somebody who is worse off than me, worse off, things that are going on. That takes it out, takes it off, takes the charge off it. So time and again, you're going to be asked to find your warrior. You're going to be asked to find your courage, your bravery. It's that kind of courage where a mother sees her child getting run over and she lifts that bloody car up. A car. There are things that we can do. Together, we're really strong. Divided and separate, we're much weaker. Much, much weaker. So it's you finding your individual strength. And as you find that, you galvanize others in that. Yeah. You bring along others. It's like, yeah, I'm going to find a way. I'll do the soothing if I have to, if I have some tears that come, because there are tears of sadness and grief at the loss of the old world, because there is a lot of loss. There is a world that's gone forever. But you're here for a reason. You are here. You're breathing, you're alive. You've got something you can do. It might be something on the mental plane. Everything starts in thought. So we've got to work with thought. The North Node is in Gemini for the next year and a half. We're working with our thinking processes, the power of thought. Can we, and I did a video about this not very long ago, can we think good thoughts about each other for a day? Can you have one day where you think nothing but good thoughts, or you catch yourself when you're thinking negative thoughts about any one person, and you do your best to turn it around, whether it's somebody from your past, somebody who hurt you, somebody who abused you, whatever they did to you. Can you? I set that challenge. Are you ready to take up that challenge? Because I think it's the thought area that has to be worked on as well. This is what the astrology is showing. Whew. So each has to find their own way. There's no one way of doing this. And we have to accept one another's perspectives. Yes, this Gemini energy, we each have different perspectives. Some think there's no virus. Some think that they shouldn't be in lockdown. Some think that the government is taking over all of our freedoms. What's true? What's false? Where do you need to take your action? These are questions. Thank you, Cedric. And I'm not saying I have all the answers here. I'm just showing you what the astrology is showing. And when planets are in rulership, they're really strong. So you've got to notice them. So Mars in Aries is very strong until January. Saturn in Capricorn until the 21st of December. That's strong. That's what do we have to learn? What are the lessons we've got to learn from everything that is happening here? Thank you, Kristen. Thank you. What are we learning personally? Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Good vibes, loving thoughts. Absolutely. So Saturn is all about lessons. Lessons personally, lessons collectively. And Saturn has to do with our structures. And of course, education is going to change. I doubt that parents are going to want to send children to school when they've got to wear masks all day. They're not allowed to play together. These are just questions. Just questions. So, a gratitude jar. Yep. Gratitude jar. Yeah. Yeah, gosh, just, there's a lot of emotions swirling, yeah. Yeah, some people don't want to go back, some people do. Yeah, if we can just accept one another's different perspectives. It's not about convincing somebody to do something and ostracizing people who don't do. Thank you, Digital Soldier. But it's about accepting all the perspectives. You don't have to agree with them. No, 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 we're not asking you to agree. But can we accept the different perspectives? Because when somebody accepts your perspective, like for example, let's take an example here. Thank you, Mask Bear. Thank you. You know, somebody's saying here that it's a hoax. The virus is a hoax. I may disagree with that, but if I can acknowledge that that's your view and that you're heard and you feel heard, then you drop your defense, you drop your warrior's stance. It's a bit like when somebody listens to what you've got to say. It's like, ah. Oh. So we've got to listen. And in that listening comes a sense of peacefulness, comes a sense of respect, a sense of dignity, of one another's dignity. I don't have to agree with you, but I do have to find a way to include you and not to push you away, not to run away from you, not to say, oh no, I'm not having this, I'm not having that. Oh, goodness gracious. So we're being asked to really make a huge evolutionary jump. And just going to close this because there's a bit of a noise coming from outside and I want this to be clear. So it's a huge jump that we have to make. I feel a little bit like the fool in the tarot pack with the image of, you know, just about to walk off a cliff and you don't know you're going to walk off a cliff. And yet, it's like, okay, I'm going to do the best that I can do in terms of the actions I can take. I'm going to do whatever I can do. I'm going to become strong in my being. I'm going to send prayers. Neptune is in Pisces. Neptune also in rulership. And Neptune is about prayers. It's about having faith in the unseen. And I had to learn that when I opened up to the channeling. I never believed for one moment that anything was going to come through me. And then all of a sudden, I'll talk about the channeling journey in a different video. I don't think it belongs here. So it's not about dropping our differences, because I don't know that we're able to do that. Right? And I don't think it's about convincing somebody else to change their mind. But if you live the example that you want to see in the world, if you can be that, then I think you begin to transmit a light energy. So I really want to thank Lucy and Drew. I feel tremendously supported and held by them. Thank you. And it's Drew's birthday tomorrow, isn't it? Drew, happy birthday for tomorrow. Yeah, thank you, Adelaide. The Fool and the Magician. So we're dealing with the Fool and the magic that we can create together. The magic that we can bring about, not by running away, because there is nowhere to run anymore. And that's why I titled this video, Coronavirus is everywhere. All these things are happening everywhere. So we kind of just have to accept that and find ways to keep our faith, to know that together, and especially with you, my beautiful family here, my online family, let's soothe one another. Let's do the best we can to send prayers. Prayers do work. Prayers are very powerful. Let's pray for the solutions to come to us so that we can reduce the blows that are coming at us. We can maybe reduce some of this intensity as we wake up and create the world that we wish to see. And those beautiful words of Imagine of John Lennon, they're still alive today. And I think with Neptune in Pisces, we must keep those words alive in our hearts. Thank you for liking this video. Please like the video. It really helps the algorithm. Thank you to those of you who have given online today. Thank you for liking. Thank you for contributing. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for sharing what you're feeling. And yes, these are difficult times. They sure are. But I don't know about you, in some of my most difficult times, I've experienced the greatest growth and the greatest liberation has come from it. So let's visualize that beautiful world and send prayers and loves to those who are suffering, to those who are in pain, and that we can send a contagion of goodwill, of peacefulness, of kindness around the planet. Maybe I'll do a meditation next time. Thank you for liking. Suddenly a load of you liked. Thank you. See how we can contagiously work together. So let's look for ways that we can come together, ways that we can work together. I do think we're going to come together in communities and we'll step outside the system. It doesn't have to be fought. we'll just do it. So that's my prayer. I love you. Thank you for being with me today. Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Lucy. Much love to everybody.